This debate today, it's about who gets to be an American. What opinions do we have to be counted as Americans? This is what this debate is about, Madam Speaker. There is this idea that you are a suspect if you are an immigrant, or if you are from certain parts of the world, or a certain skin tone, or a Muslim. It is no accident that members of the Republican Party accused the first Black president, Barack Obama, of being a secret Muslim. It is no accident that...
In this video, I'm breaking down one of the most important moments we've seen in Congress in a long time: the official removal of Representative Ilhan Omar from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. This was not just another procedural vote. This was a powerful, overdue decision that finally sent a clear message. Anti-American rhetoric has no place shaping U.S. foreign policy. For years, Omar's controversial comments have raised serious questions about whether she represents the best interests of America, or whether she's more interested in criticizing our country, our allies, and our values. Time and time again, she's shown open hostility toward Israel, one of our most vital allies in the Middle East. And yet, Democrats kept pushing her onto one of the most prestigious committees in Congress, as if her record didn't matter. Well, that ended today. Republicans finally drew a line in the sand and said, enough. They had the backbone to stand up not just for themselves, but for America's credibility on the world stage. The Foreign Affairs Committee isn't some backbench gig. It's where America's image, alliances, and global strategy are shaped. And having someone with a track record of anti-American and anti-ally rhetoric in that seat was a stain on our foreign policy. Now, of course, Democrats are furious. They're shouting about revenge, claiming this was political theater. But let's be honest, what they call revenge is what the rest of us call accountability. Accountability for words, accountability for actions, and accountability for undermining America's values. This wasn't about silencing Ilhan Omar. She's still in Congress. She can still speak, vote, and represent her district. What this was about is preventing someone with her worldview from being elevated to a role that allows her to speak on behalf of the United States abroad. And that is just plain common sense. This decision is a win, not for one party, not for one faction, but for America. It shows that Republicans are finally willing to defend our country's reputation, protect our alliances, and stop pretending that people who tear down America deserve prestigious committee assignments. The message is clear. If you openly disrespect the United States and our closest allies, you do not get to shape our foreign policy. Period. And friends, this is just the beginning. If we want to restore America's strength, we need more leaders willing to make tough calls, even when the radical left and the media scream about it. This was a victory for patriotism, and I'll explain why it matters more than the mainstream media will ever admit. Stick around, because you deserve to hear the truth. Don't forget, hit subscribe, smash that like button, and help spread this message. Together, we can keep exposing the lies, defending America, and pushing back against those who want to tear our country down.
Is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to the gentlelady from the great state of New York, Nicole Malliotakis.
The gentlewoman from New York is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've heard from my colleagues the reasons why the Representative Omar should be removed from this committee, but I feel like all the reasons have not just yet been stated, which is why I rise to add for the record. We've heard about the comments that were made regarding anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli views, but I rise to add to the record that as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I've sat there and heard the representative actually spew anti-American rhetoric as well. I've been in that committee room where the representative equates Israel and the United States to Hamas and the Taliban. Absolutely unacceptable for a member of that committee. I've also heard the representative equate that it is the United States' fault that there is turmoil in Venezuela, that is not because of the oppressive socialist and communism that has spread throughout Central and South America, in Venezuela at the hands of the Maduro and Hugo Chavez regimes. That is unacceptable. And as a New York representative, to hear the representative belittle, to try to diminish the worst terrorist attack on United States soil on September 11, 2001, as some people did something, that is unacceptable as well. And I hold the same standard for this side of the aisle that I do the other, because when another colleague on my side said something about 9/11, I also voted to have her removed from the Education Committee because I thought that was inappropriate. So I'm being consistent here, and I hope my colleagues will do the same to show that this is about consistency and accountability, because we should not have an individual with those views on the committee that is tasked with representing our country and our Congress to foreign nations. I yield back.
The gentlelady yields back.
Georgia seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A.1 of Rule 9, I seek recognition to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows.
Recognized.
Censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Whereas elected members of Congress take an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar took an oath of allegiance to the United States upon becoming a citizen, declaring, I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen. Whereas on January 27, 2024, Representative Omar gave remarks at an event in Minneapolis in which she made treasonous statements. Whereas Representative Omar said she has spoken to many Somalians who asked her to intercede for the Somali government by pressuring the United States government into certain actions. Whereas Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, for as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Whereas George Washington warned in his farewell address of 1796 to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism, and further declared citizens by birth or choice of a common country, that country has a right to concentrate your affections. The name of American, which belongs to you in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism more than any appellation derived from local discriminations. Whereas these statements by Representative Omar clearly violate the oath she took as an elected member of Congress to defend and protect the United States Constitution. Whereas Representative Omar has exhibited the treasonous tendencies George Washington warned about, and her actions must be condemned by all members of Congress who adhere to the oath they took upon assuming office. And whereas by openly admitting her efforts to advance Somalia's interest using her position as a United States representative, Representative Omar has revealed herself to be a foreign agent acting on behalf of a foreign government. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota be censured. Representative Ilhan Omar forthwith present herself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. Representative Ilhan Omar be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker, and Representative Ilhan Omar be and is hereby removed from the Committee of the Budget and the Committee on Education and the Workforce.
Welcome back to Alysen Reacts. Before we dive in, do me a favor. hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. Every single click helps us fight back against the lies of the mainstream media and the political elites who want to silence patriotic voices like ours. If you believe in America, if you believe in truth, if you believe in holding our so-called leaders accountable, this is a channel for you. All right, let's talk about it. The House of Representatives has officially voted to remove Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Affairs Committee. Let me be crystal clear. This is not some small reshuffling of committee seats. This is a major, long overdue correction. The Foreign Affairs Committee is not a side gig. This is where America's global strategy is debated, where alliances are defended, and where our image on the world stage is shaped. And yet, Democrats thought it was perfectly fine to keep someone like Omar there, despite her long track record of controversial, divisive, and frankly unpatriotic remarks. She has consistently undermined Israel, one of our strongest allies, and spoken in ways that make America look weak, hostile, or even illegitimate. That is not the voice we should be projecting to the world. Republicans finally said enough is enough. They weren't intimidated by the media spin. They weren't afraid of the Twitter mobs. And they weren't about to let someone with a history of undermining America continue to sit in such a powerful position. This isn't about silencing her voice. Omar still has her platform. She can still vote. She can still grandstand. She can still post whatever she wants on social media. But she does not get to speak for America in one of the most important committees in Congress. That's the difference, of course. Democrats are outraged. They're calling this revenge. But let's call it what it is: accountability. For years, Republicans were accused of being spineless, unwilling to stand up to radical voices. Today, they showed backbone. They showed they're willing to draw a line and say, if you openly undermine America's allies, if you embrace rhetoric that damages our credibility, if you mock or question our values, then you don't get the privilege of sitting on a committee that represents America to the rest of the world. And friends, here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about Ilhan Omar. This is about sending a warning to everyone who thinks America is the bad guy. Everyone who thinks you can rise to power in Washington by trashing our country and excusing our enemies. Those days are over. Removing Omar was step one. The message is simple. If you don't respect America, you don't get to shape America's foreign policy that, let's not forget, Democrats could have done this years ago. If they had any integrity, they would have recognized that Omar's statements disqualified her from sitting on foreign affairs. But they didn't. Why? Because their party has embraced people like her, elevated them, and given them platforms they never should have had. And because they refused to act, Republicans had to step in and clean up the mess at SOS. This is a victory for common sense. It's a victory for accountability. It's a victory for America. But it's only the beginning. We need more of this courage in Congress. We need leaders who are willing to stand up for truth, for our values, and for the idea that America is worth defending, without apology. That if you agree with me, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and share this video with your friends and family. Because the more people hear the truth, the harder it becomes for the elites and the media to control the narrative. This was a win for America, but the fight is far from over.